Get the tranquilizers ready now. Kira's acting strange. A staff member's urgent voice shattered the quiet air of the primate enclosure at Woodland Park Zoo. Rapid footsteps, crackling radios, and ragged breaths mingled in a chaotic symphony. Emily Harper, the head keeper of the gorilla troop, stood frozen by the large glass window, her heart pounding like it might burst. She watched Kira, the oldest female gorilla in the group, approach with a strange determination in her eyes, as if carrying a painful secret no one could fathom. Kira's slow, purposeful steps sent a chill down Emily's spine. She had a gut feeling that this moment would upend everything they thought they knew about these gentle giants. The day had started like any other, with early morning sunlight filtering through lush green trees, casting dappled patterns on the ground. But beneath that serene atmosphere, a heartbreaking and extraordinary story was about to unfold. A tale of maternal love that transcended all boundaries, of profound intelligence and sacrifice that would stir the hearts of those who heard it. Emily had been with the gorilla family for 7 years. With her silver-streaked hair and eyes that sparkled with passion, she loved every member of the troop. From the playful youngsters with their goofy antics, to the calm, protective parents who cradled their young in strong arms. She knew their every glance, every gesture, the way a mother knows her children. But lately, Emily had noticed something off about Kira, the 30-year-old gorilla known for her gentle and steady demeanor. Kira had grown restless. She clung tightly to Luma, her 4-month-old baby with wide eyes and silky fur, never letting her out of her sight. She lingered near the visitor area, her deep eyes searching for something or someone who might help. "Hey, Kira's not eating again," Jake Martinez, Emily's young assistant, reported while reviewing daily logs. His voice was thick with worry. 3 days in a row now. Emily nodded, but her heart sank. In her 15 years working with primates, she'd never seen Kira act this way. Kira was an experienced mother, having raised 4 other offspring without issue. She was always calm, nurturing, like the troop's wise matriarch. But this time, something was different. Kira would sit for hours, staring at Luma, her large hands gently stroking her baby, emitting soft, eerie moans, sounds so unfamiliar, so pained, that the staff had never heard them before. She looked at Luma with a mix of tenderness and dread, as if she sensed a storm approaching. Veterinarian Alan Reed, with his salt and pepper hair and steady demeanor, thoroughly examined both mother and baby. He shook his head, his tone reassuring. No signs of illness. Probably just overprotective mom nerves. Even seasoned mothers can get anxious sometimes. But Emily wasn't convinced. She'd looked into Kira's eyes and seen a pain beyond words, a grief deeper than any medical report could capture. On a quiet Tuesday morning, as soft sunlight bathed the enclosure, everything erupted. Among the few visitors that day was Linda Suarez, a retired nurse with snow-white hair and a warm smile. The zoo staff affectionately called her Gorilla Grandma for her deep love for the troop. She visited almost daily, standing quietly by the glass, watching Kira with an understanding that felt almost telepathic, as if she and the gorilla shared an invisible bond. Linda wasn't just a visitor. She'd become part of the enclosure, her steady presence and kind eyes making her a trusted friend to Kira. "Emily, something's wrong with Kira today," Linda called, her voice trembling with concern. Emily rushed over, her heart racing. She saw Kira approach the glass, but instead of clutching Luma tightly as usual, Kira extended her massive arms, lifting Luma toward the window, as if trying to hand her precious baby to Linda through the cold glass. Kira's hands shook. Her body seemed to battle an unseen pain, but her eyes were resolute, filled with desperation and hope. She pressed her large palm against the glass, right in front of Linda, and let out soft, pleading hoots, a heartfelt cry from the depths of her soul. The enclosure fell silent. No sound, just the quickened breaths of onlookers and the pounding of Emily's heart. "Oh my God," she whispered, fumbling for her radio. "Get Dr. Reed down here now, hurry!" Kira's eyes weren't angry or scared. They were a profound plea, like a mother on the brink of life and death, willing to do anything to save her child. Kira didn't understand human language, but she understood kindness. Day after day, she'd watched Linda, the woman with the gentle smile, always there, looking at her with warm, non-threatening eyes. In her moment of desperation, as her body weakened from a gnawing pain she couldn't explain, Kira sensed death approaching. A malignant tumor, yet to be discovered, was sapping her strength. Her fierce maternal instinct told her time was running out. But Kira didn't give in. Instead of clinging to Luma and keeping her close, she did the unthinkable. She lifted Luma toward Linda as if to say, "Take care of my baby when I can't." Each time Kira touched the glass, her eyes locked on Linda, entrusting her heart to that plea. It was the ultimate sacrifice, an act that crossed species lines, showing boundless love and absolute faith in human compassion. Suddenly, Kira clutched Luma and retreated to a corner of the enclosure, her body trembling. She let out gut-wrenching cries of pain, as if her strength was draining away. Linda stood frozen, tears streaming down her face. "She's hurting," she whispered, her voice breaking. "I've seen that look in patience about to pass. She's trying to tell us something, Emily." When Dr. Reed arrived, the air was heavy as lead. Kira lay curled in the corner, holding Luma tightly, her eyes still flickering with faint hope. Emily stood there, unable to shake the image of Kira's hand on the glass, her gaze etched into her mind. "She's not just a gorilla," Emily whispered to Jake, her voice shaking. "She knows something. She's begging for help." Linda, still reeling, gripped Emily's hand. "I've cared for hundreds of patients, Emily. I know that look. Kira's not just in pain. She's terrified, not for herself, but for Luma." Linda's words hit Emily like a lightning bolt. She recalled Kira's refusal to eat, the strange moans, and the anxious glances at Luma. A horrifying thought struck her. Something terrible was happening to Kira, and it wasn't natural. She remembered a case years ago when a zoo chimpanzee was poisoned due to a medication error. The odd behaviors, unexplained weight loss, and a devastating truth uncovered in records. Could it be happening again? "Jake," she said, her voice steely, "pull all of Kira's medical records and the pharmacy logs for this month. Now." Jake looked startled by her sudden intensity, but nodded and bolted off. In the small office, under flickering fluorescent lights, Emily sat amid piles of papers, her heart racing. Her instincts, honed over 15 years with primates, screamed that something was wrong. She couldn't forget Kira's eyes, not just pain, but the desperation of a mother losing her strength. When Jake returned with the records, Emily flipped through them, her eyes sharp. A small detail stopped her cold. Sedative use was double the norm, but painkillers were barely logged, This doesn't add up, she muttered, her fingers trembling on the page. Someone's hiding something. Under the dim office light, Emily and Jake uncovered a brutal truth. Emergency tests revealed Kira had a fast-growing malignant tumor, hidden beneath her thick fur and strong muscles. But what chilled Emily wasn't just the disease. As they dug through records, a horrifying secret emerged. Kira's blood contained strange compounds, experimental toxins that weakened her immune system, compounds the zoo had never stocked. Someone had deliberately poisoned Kira, turning her body into a deadly battleground where she fought not just for herself, but for Luma. All signs pointed to Marcus Graves, the zoo's new research director. With a cold smile and soulless eyes, Graves was the embodiment of ruthless greed. He didn't see Kira as a loving mother, but as a tool, a specimen in his sinister scheme. Graves had secretly used Kira as a test subject for an illegal project, partnered with a pharmaceutical company to accelerate primate evolution for profit. He injected her with toxins that crippled her immune system, spurring the tumor's deadly growth, all to collect data on her reactions at death's door. Graves' cruelty didn't stop there. He manipulated the zoo's pharmacy, falsified medical records, and planned to move Kira to a secret facility once she was no longer useful, erasing all traces of his crimes. To Graves, Kira wasn't a living being, not the mother who lifted Luma to the glass in a plea for help. She was a number, a stepping stone to fame and fortune. He trampled on Kira's sacred maternal bond, on the desperate trust she placed in humans, like a predator without remorse. But Graves miscalculated. He didn't anticipate the hearts burning with love and justice standing against him. Emily, fiercely loyal to her gorillas, refused to stand by. She secretly recorded a confrontation with Graves, capturing his chilling confessions. Jake, with his quick wit and passion, backed up every incriminating document, ensuring the truth wouldn't be buried. And Linda, the witness to Kira's plea, became the spark that ignited a firestorm. She contacted her brother, a veteran journalist, and within hours, Kira's story spread worldwide, from news broadcasts to social media, touching millions of hearts. As the sun set over Woodland Park Zoo, chaos erupted. FBI agents stormed the research lab, their voices icy. "Marcus Graves, you're under arrest for illegal animal experimentation, fraud, and violating the Endangered Species Act." Graves's face twisted with rage, but there was no escape. The evidence was airtight. Emily's recording, falsified records, and blood tests confirming the toxins in Kira's system. Outside, Linda stood tall, facing security guards trying to silence her. "I called the press!" she shouted, her voice carrying the strength of years spent caring for the vulnerable. "The world will know what you did to that mother and her baby." Reporters swarmed the zoo, camera flashes like lightning in a storm. The story exploded like a tidal wave. Zoo conspiracy exposed, rare gorilla used in illegal experiments. Animal rights groups demanded reform, and the zoo's board pledged sweeping changes. Amid the chaos, Emily quietly entered Kira's enclosure, her heart heavy. Kira was weak, her breathing labored, but her eyes lit up at Emily's presence. Slowly, she extended her large hand, not to push Luma away, but to touch Emily's, a gesture of trust that brought tears to her eyes. "We'll make this right, girl," Emily whispered. "I promise." A week later, Emily stood by the glass, her eyes fixed on Kira and Luma. With proper treatment, Kira's tumor was shrinking, her strength returning. Luma, blissfully unaware of the storm that had passed, scampered playfully, her tiny hands tugging at her mother's fur. Kira sat in her favorite corner, her eyes calm and clear, a far cry from the desperate mother who pressed her hand to the glass. Linda stood beside Emily, her eyes soft with emotion. That day, when Kira lifted Luma, she knew she was dying, she said quietly. She trusted us to save her baby, and we did. Emily nodded, her throat tight. Kira's smarter than we ever realized. She knew exactly what she was doing. The Kira Project, a new sanctuary funded by fines from Graves's pharmaceutical partners, was approved by the zoo's board. It will be a place of healing, a testament to Kira's courage and the unbreakable bond between mother and child. Graves and his accomplices faced long sentences, their names synonymous with cruelty and greed. But for Emily, Linda, and countless others touched by Kira's story, the true legacy was love. Every day, visitors gathered at the glass, watching Kira and Luma play. They whispered about the mother who defied death to save her child, and the people who fought for her. Emily kept the security footage from that fateful morning, a reminder of Kira's act of faith. It wasn't just a moment, it was an awakening, that the deepest wisdom comes not from human ambition, but from a mother's love. Kira's story sparked a movement. Documentaries were made, books written, and zoo policies nationwide reformed. But for those who knew her, the greatest change was in their hearts. Kira and Luma thrived, their bond a beacon of hope. And when Kira touched the glass, no longer in desperation but in friendship, Emily knew, love, whether human or animal, is the greatest force of all. What does Kira's story mean to you? Can a mother's love transcend species, touching us in ways we never expected? Share your thoughts, and if this story moved you, leave a message. A mother's love knows no bounds, and Kira's light will shine forever.